Neiman, Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM, AM 630. WMAL.
7:37 on a Friday morning, and Trevor Matich is here to talk about football because it's almost the weekend, and it's time to get ready. How's it going, Trevor?
It's going awesome, Mary Catherine. How about you?
I'm pretty good, but the boys are a little down. You know, I don't feel like the faith in the Redskins is quite what it was.
Well, I think the season's over.
Ago.
I mean, I said that last week.
You're Brian.
But you're gloomy. You're always gloomy. You always take the negative approach.
Brian Neiman thought the season was over in, like, February.
That's true. I did.
But look what we go and do. They're all sad, and now we send the game to Canada. This isn't helping, Trevor.
Yeah, well, you know, I can see why Brian Neiman would think that the season was over in February because it rained on one day in February, and of course, that signaled disaster for the Redskins, and so he's right about that in that regard. Canada, though, that might be a bigger disaster. I mean, they got to go to Canada for goodness' sake. The thing about Canada, though, is that it might be worse for the Bills. The Bills have a contract with a media company up there to play a series of home games for several years in Toronto, and they've already played 3 of them. They've lost all 3, and it hurts the Bills because when they're home in Buffalo, they have a full stadium of rabid Bills fans.
Yes.
In Canada, you got a bunch of people up there, you know, preparing their brie and wine and, you know, getting ready to do things that Canadians do, which I'm sure are wonderful. But they're different from the good people of Buffalo.
They're at the bar next door watching hockey.
At the home games.
Yeah. Neiman may be sad about the whole season. I got to tell you, I'm a little sad about one thing that happened yesterday. It involved a guy that I really like on the Redskins, Chris Cooley. He's been a tremendous player over the years. He apparently has been put on injured reserve. His season is over, and many are saying his career may be over.
As for the Redskins.
And here's the question. I mean, apparently he had knee problems during the off season when they had the lockout going on, and he did not seek out someone to help him with therapy. And many people are saying that's why he ended up this season as he has ended up.
Yeah, well, he had surgery in March on his knee, and he did seek out some advice, but he didn't really have bad symptoms. I mean, without there being OTAs, without the organized team activities that required practice and different kinds of workouts, his knee didn't really swell up. Well, when he got to camp, it really did. And I think in retrospect, he looks back on that and sees that he needed to have done more on a daily basis from that surgery in March in rehab up until training camp. But the thing about Cooley is that he's not a knucklehead. I mean, it makes sense right now to look at it from a standpoint of you own your body, you've got a lot of money, you hire somebody to be your trainer as if they were the team's trainer. And that makes a lot of sense. And anybody but Cooley, I would say, yeah, that guy really messed up. But I've got to give the benefit of the doubt to Cooley. And I think just because he's a consummate professional in everything that he does associated with his craft. And the unfortunate thing is that it might signal the end of his career here with the Redskins. Because all of a sudden now Fred Davis is emerging at tight end, and if Cooley becomes too expensive for the role he's being asked to play once he's back, he may be off to another team. Now, his career will continue. But the value of Cooley to this team is far more than just the catches he makes. He's an example in the locker room and on the practice field to young people like Fred Davis. If it weren't for Cooley, Fred Davis would probably still be a young knucklehead, but he's not because he's watched Cooley.
Yeah. All right. We can joke on about me thinking that the season is over, and it's difficult. But, I mean, I say that because the offensive line is in shambles. Santana's done for at least 5 weeks. Cooley's out for the season. London Fletcher's banged up. D'Angelo Hall's banged up. I mean, the injuries are starting to mount, and the schedules is pretty difficult from here on out. I'm just wondering right now, as a whole, who would you put money on to win this division?
Right now, the Giants seem to be playing the best, but everybody in the division is like that. I mean, you can look at the Redskins like they're a mess, and they are. They're a big old mess right now for a variety of reasons. You talked about the injuries, and there are other reasons too. But the good thing is that this is the division, the NFC East, with the Cowboys, Eagles, and Giants to join the Redskins, is a big, giant, dysfunctional Eddie Murphy family.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody is completely messed up. And so the Redskins right now don't have to be better than the Green Bay Packers to make the playoffs or to win their division. All they have to do is be better than 3 other teams that are almost as messed up as they are. and so they do have that advantage.
Well, hold on. You said that the injuries are a problem and that there are other issues as well. I mean, injuries, that's just, you have no prediction on how that's going to go. But are there other things going on that concern you with the Redskins?
Well, the quarterback situation. Now, John Beck will be making his second start since 2007 this week, and that's a problem. They're only in the second year of this administration, and keep in mind that the Redskins have averaged a new head coach about every 2 years since Dan Snyder bought the team. And so right now we're in the second year of this one. So, they've got to overcome that as well. And so those are some of the things that they're dealing with.
All right, what do you make of this game? Redskins versus the Bills. The Bills' defense isn't really that great. They're very good with turnovers, but overall you can move the ball and score points against this Bills' defense. Yeah,
that's a good point, and we thought that last week as well. Statistically, Carolina's defense wasn't all that great, but they had played teams like the Green Bay Packers and the Atlanta Falcons with really great offenses. Buffalo's defense really is legitimately not all that good. So we'll learn whether the Redskins' offense is awful or merely average based on how they perform against the Bills.
Okay. Trevor, real quick, league-wide, we talked about how the lockout might cause a lot of injuries. Statistically, has that been the case, or are there more than there usually are?
Yeah, there are, especially with Achilles tendons. I mean, even through training camp, there were far more Achilles tendons in training camp league-wide than there are usually over the course of an entire season, so it has made a difference.
All right, Trev, good talking to you. We'll talk to you on Monday and figure out if they win this game up north.